Okay. So we'll do backside with your upper back down into your core, so a little low back business, and then glutes. We'll use the BOSU ball. We're going to warm up on that. And I have this timer set for 35 minutes, 35 seconds on the intervals. So let's do this. Stand kind of behind the BOSU ball on the mat. You're just going to reach down and then come up with your back. So we're going to get that warmed up. So a little stretch and then up like that. And you're thinking just upper back and shoulders. So as we get into the work part of it, you'll have your resistance here. And the light weights is really just for endurance. So you're getting those legs warmed up. You can kind of squat down and then I just come up to that almost like stopping point where the arms are fully extended and then back down to the ground. So nice and easy. And then we'll do our little walkout. A lot of posterior stuff just from our seated positions that we find ourselves sitting in a little bit longer these days. Take it down, walk it to the BOSU ball, plank it out. So walk your feet back and you're just going to be here and you're going to drop your hips forward to the ball, pull them back up and stretch back out. So just that moving up dog to down dog, pressing back into those heels. Big stretch in that back. You're just using these intervals to get warmed up here. Keeping the abs in, exhale, press those heels back into the ground. You inhale, come forward, lower those hips, and then you pull it back. And we'll get the abs involved in this one as well. So arms stay straight for this interval, straight up like this. Now drop the hips and then just stretch all the way back. So looking back over that left shoulder, a little lateral stretching here, legs are relaxed. We'll use the BOSU ball for your kind of a prop to get the glutes going. So come back up into this downward dog, stretch it back like this, big long stretch, and then you're gonna step that right leg forward and then take that inner thigh stretch. So my right leg is forward, right hand goes to the ceiling, and then sit into that bent knee. So everything's on the back of that right side. Pull your abs in tight and then feel your upper back stretching here, rotating, looking up to your hand. Take that big inhale, come back to the BOSU ball, go back into a plank, and then hips go high into that downward dog. And then take that long stretch here, come forward into plank, hips go toward the ball. And then once again, look over that left shoulder, a little bit of a twist. Look over that right shoulder, come back to the center, hips back in plank. And then that left leg steps forward. So just that same kind of opening stretch in the hip, left arm goes up and feel that chest stretch all the way from like the low back all the way up to that arm. Come back into the center, feet go back, and then this time walk your feet toward the BOSU ball. You're in that forward fold, right like this. So you just get that length happening. Now, let's take your toes right to the edge of the BOSU ball. So if you're flexible, great, you're gonna be over the top like this. Hands are gonna stay right around the top of that label, and my toes are coming to the rim. So there's your kind of stationary points for your two hands and your left leg. Right leg's gonna step back and then pull that knee up into your chest. So I'm just stepping down into the lunge and that knee pulls up into the chest. So real isolated here. So give me that step back lunge, up and pull, step back, push off of that right toe, that right knee goes down, and you just kind of have that little lunge on the left leg. But the toe on the left does not move. So this is just kind of the beginning, easy part to that. Lunge back, pull up into that knee. So you're getting a little bit of upper back stretching while the ab contracts and that knee pulls into the chest. And hands, you're light on your hands, so not pushing too much weight forward. Is pretty much all on that left leg. Hold that position right here. So now you're in this kind of airplane mode. Left leg is now extended. Hands can be on the top of the ball if you're less flexible, down here if you're more flexible. And that right leg is just gonna lift and lower. So that toe goes straight down to the ground and then lift that heel straight up. So how far your arms are down on the ball will tilt your upper body. How straight that left leg is just gonna work all those stabilizers on that left side. So if I'm a little less flexible, I've got a bend in that left leg slightly. Ideally, you'd be straight up on that leg so then everything's working at the hip in the back side of both legs, right? Actually, lift and lower. Yeah, that starts getting a little bit of isolation on there. And then we're gonna take it to a standing, a lunge, and a knee. So we just brought that whole body all the way up. Whole time, left leg is just pressed to that rim of that ball. So now I'm standing. Second round of this, we'll add the weights to this. So just getting that leg warmed up here. You're down. We've got one more, what we call a superset on this leg. Press, lunge back, balance, and lift. Good. So just hitting that toe to that back part and then coming up in that nice extension on that hip. Fabulous. 5 more seconds like this. And then we're going to kneel on the BOSU ball with that left leg. So now we just take that left leg onto the BOSU ball, hands come in front, right leg is still lifted, and hold it right here. Now add that left arm. So that's what we call your bird dog, quadruped, and we're just holding for balance. If you see that back toe, so my left toe that's of the leg that's on the ball, if you float that, you're going to be a little bit more challenged. And we're just holding. If you take it to the floor, you'll be a little more isolated. Yeah, and just find that balance. It's 35 seconds. And then as we transition, we'll put both of our hips on the ball, work our glutes at the same time, get a little bit of a low back. So press your hips onto the ball. Catch your breath here. You're down. And then we go right into our back. Both toes should stay right down on your mat. Now, if any issues in your back, take your hands in front to support. But think about you rounding out your upper back. Knees and legs are relaxed here. Exhale, come up past parallel. And then the arms are just resistant. So take your time working right through that upper back. Right down onto your waist that's on the ball. So this would be your upper back, upper body moving. Next one is just going to be the legs. Lay your arms down, float your feet. You can hold it right here. You want a little bit more movement. You're going to add that bent knee to the floor and then press it, heels to the ceiling. The goal is not to strain the upper body while you're doing this. So yeah, relax that upper body. Perfect. And then just get those heels together, pressing or holding those straight legs out into that V. Really good to kind of work through this. This is how our back and glutes work together, or how we want them to work together. Sometimes your back takes all of the work. 3, 2. All right, press back. And then we just take that little stretch. So now your arms are on top of the BOSU ball. We're going to repeat this whole entire cycle on the other side. So come forward, hands are on the BOSU ball. This time when we stretch, you're going to do a push-up. So you press back and up dog on this round. Hands go right back to that edge. Come forward, you're down, you're up, and then we press it back. So getting a little bit more action on this side before we start even adding weights to this. Inhale, that chest and rib cage goes on top of the BOSU ball. You do that push-up. Hips go back, press it back. How long you want to stretch in that downward dog, totally up to you. Okay, then we walk our feet toward the ball. You're taking that stretch here, hands stay placed. This time your right leg's going to step back, knee to the chest, or your left leg, sorry, your left leg. Your right leg is toward the BOSU ball. And we step back with the left, pull the knee to the chest. So lots of exercises on this round. Superset says we just keep that right leg stationary while the left leg does a movement. Now, find your position on the ball with your hands that you're not putting a lot of weight into it, and then let that weight be into that right leg. Bend the right leg, you straighten the right leg. Okay, then we take it to a lift. You're right here standing in that position like that. It's down and up. So that left leg is flexed, toe to the floor, heel to the ceiling. And how much you have forward movement will bring that kind of that heart rate up a little bit. And if that's too much for your, your head and neck to be in that position, you can come up higher. But focus on keeping that right leg nice and straight. Lift. Yes. Hold it up right here. Then you take that leg back. We're standing. And then right to the standing one. So now right leg is stationary. Oh my gosh, the balance. Your posture changes. Good. Down. Drive it up. So everything starts working down that right hip, right side. Drive it up. Good. Your leg feels like it's just stuck right there to that rib. Oh my. Can we get that to the ball as well? Getting everything so your hip flexes, it extends all through that joint. Good. Now we come forward, placing that right knee on the BOSU ball and hold that left leg out. Find your balance and then reach that right arm straight out and just focusing right through that, floating that right toe or keeping it down for stability. Whatever works, but now your shoulder gets involved and you're light on that left hand. Oh, it's finding that position and then just holding. That's not easy. Sometimes the non-moving parts are a little bit more challenging. So we'll start working with those little weights here in this next few rounds. Set both of your hips down on there, toes stay on the ground, and right back into this back one. I never use weights in this position. I just don't think you need it. If you get your chest rounded and then squeezing that upper back with your arms really can be enough on your, on those little upper back muscles. But if you have 3s or 4s or 5s, okay to work that if you really want it. But think about what's working right on top of the BOSU ball. Squeeze, relax. And the beauty of modifying this is just keeping your arms down. Okay, upper body stays down low, relaxed. Lift those legs. This time, keep them out to the V here for a second. So now you just feel like right outer sides of both hips should be equally squeezing. Then bend your knees so your feet kind of come together and then lift up and lower. And then see your knees go all the way to the floor. So your hip is just flexing right on top of that BOSU ball. Oh, good isolation. Try to relax the shoulders. I know that sounds weird, but create some space between your ear and your shoulder so your scapula kind of dip down your back, what we call depressed and retracted. Okay, then we just do Superman. Now, getting ready to do weights. So Superman is just here, balancing on that middle part of your body. Arms are out to whatever level, legs are out to whatever level. This is fine. Hands down is fine, and you're just holding. Isometric, everything's tight in the back, but nothing is moving. Squeezing right here. And 5, 4, 3, 2, relax. Hands come down in front. Sit back in child's pose, arms on top of that BOSU ball. Here's our nice big stretch for everything. Now, we're gonna pick up, let's do your heavier weights. So start with those 10s, that'll be all you need because we're gonna work the legs in this round. So picking up your weights, I'm gonna reset our timer here. A set, one weight in each hand. And you're gonna stand right by that edge of that BOSU ball. So pretend I've got my heavy weights here. And we're just gonna take that left leg stationary against the ball. Right leg is going to go down. Now you can give me a bicep curl with this one because it's nice and easy, but we're isolating back of that left leg. So we're kind of repeating this circuit, starting with the standing position. So weights can be either, both in one hand, up on your shoulders. The action is at the legs. So really the arms, I want just to be secondary to this. When we do that superset, we let your legs rest while the arms are doing the work. Tilt your body forward, hold it right here. Weights are counterbalancing that leg. Now that right leg goes down to the ground, up and lift. Now with those 10s, to work the back, you can add that reverse fly. You really don't need to. If they're heavy, you can do a row, but the left leg is straight, right leg is going down and up behind you. Leaning forward, abs are in tight. Yeah, whatever you want with that. Arm position, you can change it as we kind of go. So you're leaning, right leg is straight, left leg should be straight out. Now we're gonna step back and then up into the knee. Now we add that shoulder. So everything's here, posture up to the top, down to the shoulder, up to the top. So with 10s, you're strong enough to probably have both of them in one hand, but let's load that leg. And the key is to get that right knee pushed up. I'm fully extended all the way up on the arms, all the way up on that leg, down to the shoulders, up and press. Perfect. Exhale as you stand. Nice. We are going to put both weights into this left hand as we step out laterally to the right. So both weights in this left hand, kind of get to the left side of your mat here. You're going to go down and then row. So now we've got that lateral movement. Nothing is moving in that left leg. So I step down and whatever weight you want in those arms, really that's totally secondary. I can be holding the dumbbells in each hand, still bringing it to that side, but that right leg stays nice and bent, loading that weight into that right. Left leg stays long and straight. Yeah, that nice lateral movement. I'm going to give you an option to hang on to the weights in both hands on this next exercise too. Well, if you want, hold it up right here. If you're hanging on to both weights, I'm loaded on this side. Left arm is down by my side holding the weights. Right arm is up. Right leg is just laterally moving, getting every part of that hip. Chest is back. Good. Here's where your posture check is. Tall through that left side. I'm on that left edge of my mat. My weight's kind of centered over that left leg. And then those dumbbells could be split, could be here. It's all about that movement, right? Like that. Good. It's not a hard exercise to do by any means. It's just technically trying to find that balance. Okay, then we have both weights on our hands. On the weight is the front foot is taking our weight, and we switch scissor jack. So when we say shake it out. So a little bit of cardio here, and then we'll push our back with those heavier weights on this first round. So scissor jacks, arms can be in front, without any weights. I can have mine to the side. It's about landing on top, shaking those legs out. We're going to repeat the whole entire thing with the other leg. So push through, get the heart rate up a little bit. Good. 4, 3, we're going to land on top. Find your balance with those heavier weights. Right here. Into the back you go. So you're hinged forward, just as we did at the warm-up. You're just giving me that reverse fly. Think about shoulder blades coming together in the middle of your back, but the back of your neck is long. So we're not shrugging. And you're breathing. Exhale. Squeeze up at that top. Good. And then that balance just kind of is a challenge, finding that center. Knees can be soft. Adding on to this exercise, staying up at the top in this one before we go to the other leg. Hold it up right here. You're going to squat, lift and press. Or with that type of weight, you could go straight out, getting that shoulder, but you're squatting down, weights go by your toes. You could give me a row, arms out, whatever your weight choice allows for range of motion on your arms. But regardless, you squat and lift nice and deep and low into that bent knee. Good balance. Perfect. Yeah, that's how we do it. Oh my. And why not get a bonus one? Because your balance is good. I'm just going to do one more bonus one. Now, no legs on this one. Arms are in front. So from the side, you look like this. You're going to go back and forward. So it's not a tricep extension. It's a full arm extension to the back. Straight arm. I bend my knees. Weights come in front. It's kind of push back. Hands go past you in a straight long arm, getting everything in that upper back and shoulder. It's a swing, but you control that momentum. Up and push. Nice. There, that's what we call a bonus. If we're doing well, I'm just going to keep pushing it through here. So abs are pulling in this whole time, keeping your back stable. All right, step off of there. We go to the other leg. This time, right leg stays up against that BOSU ball. You're down and step. Arms are just by your side, doing nothing really here. Yeah, you can choose to shift the weight if you want heavier weights on this one, or go lighter and add the arm. You could be up and out here. We did a bicep curl the first time. It's all about that left leg. Stepping back, dropping that knee, stepping forward to the toes, right along the rim of that ball. Very isolated. Looks good. Straight back. And we hold it up right here. That left leg reaches to the back wall, holding it and that toe goes down and lift. Arm option here is now the bent over fly. That's really kind of challenging on the balance. So you could bring an upright row for this one. The arms can just stay in front of you. Yeah. Having equal balance on both on each leg, sometimes it just doesn't work. So if you're feeling a little shaky on this one, either get rid of the weights, adjust your arm position. Nice. 3, 2. And then we bring the weights up. So you're loading them up here. This time we step, press, everything goes up. So even that left knee, drive it forward. Come on, my right foot. It's my whole right side today is just not wanting to participate. You lunge, drive it up, and that's happened sometimes. You, not so much. It looks good. Yeah. Those arms will start getting fatigued, but what should happen is that they recruit your posture muscles because the weight's light enough for the muscle not to completely give out. And then you start being aware of like what's holding you back. Okay, then we're standing both weights into this right hand. We're stepping to the right side of the mat to go down on this left, down to that toe, up and pull, down to that toe. So you push off of that lunge into that bent left knee, and then everything comes up nice and tall, straight on that right side. And sometimes the weights are just cumbersome to hang on to, but you have options. I can hang on to one in each arm. You're just reaching that right arm across to the left foot and then coming up into a standing full posture. Good, little lateral movement. Both weights are in that right hand on that right leg, left leg just up and lift. So I'm leaning, stacking that right side. Here's that extra weight here and pushing out into that leg. Very nice. Everything around the waistband. Yeah, it's contagious. Goodness. It's like my right foot, it just, everything on this right side is just wonky. Goodness. Should be my better side. And 7, 6. This time we'll go up and over the BOSU ball if you have the range, or forward and back. You choose. So weights are going to be up here. I'm just going to take that side to side hop squat, or if your space allows, you're here. Whatever you choose, you're kind of shaking it out. Whew. And the good news is, after we stay on the top and isolate that back, we're going to dump the heavier weight. So shake it out here. Kind of up and over lateral movement gives you a little bit of pause into that squat, because we're going to stay up on the top in 7, 6. Yeah, breathing. That extra weight just adds to the arms. Sweating in the elbows. All right, stand up on top. Find your balance. We tilt forward. Now with this one, you're going to muscle it into the T and then push back into the V. So we'll combine those two back exercises. Upper shoulders, kind of down the back of the arm, and lats out and press to the T, to the V, and your abs are pulling in, giving that low back support. Arms are leveraged by the length. Good, and press them straight back. Nice. What typically would be hard looks easy here. Okay, then we squat, and let's just upright roll the suitcase, little upright stand and pull those suitcases, what we call the suitcase squat. Down to your feet, up and pull. Up and pull, nice. Yeah. You're fighting for that balance, and your feet just kind of shift. You got a lot of messages sent to the brain telling where you are in space, and then those muscles contract to keep you centered. So subconsciously, you can't really focus on all the muscles contracting. Really good way to train. 5, 4, good. 3. Okay, let's set those heavy weights down. Shake it out just for a second. We're gonna go back to kind of that beginning movement of the downward dog, add the push-up. We're gonna add some legs here, and then we'll pick up the light weights on this round. So get your BOSU ball kind of back to the top of that mat. You're gonna be at that, kind of just right behind it. I'll reset this. Okay, so what we'll do is hands to the BOSU ball, step back, It's a push-up, step forward, step forward, and we stand. So we're just breaking down this, really it's a burpee. You're down and up, step wide, and stand. So the key is to squat, lunge, lunge, push it up, lunge, lunge, stand up out of the squat. So if you really think about it, it's everything we've been doing. Big step, big stand in the squat, squat down. And your legs are really getting that big bend, straighten, bend, straighten. Hold the plank right here. Hold the plank, and then we're gonna rotate. We're gonna start getting that upper body. My hand goes to the side of the BOSU ball where I lean into it. My pivoting feet twist my hips, but when I get to the top, I really feel across the top of my shoulders, and then your arms should be going in that BOSU ball pretty straight on, so you're not killing the wrists as you normally would on the floor. Yeah, good. We just went right into this. Twisting side plank. Let your feet pivot on each outside edge of that foot. Hold it up right here, and then we twist under. Now, arms are starting to get fatigued here. So that knee comes up, taps underneath that opposite wrist. So I'm tapping my thigh up on that BOSU ball. This again is isometric. Shoulders, front of the arms start to just hold that body weight as you do all the other stuff. It's abs and into that hip. Good. Whew. It's amazing what you can do in a tiny little spot with little weights and how you can tort your positions of your arms and legs to create resistance. This time, press back, stretch back into that downward dog, and then bring your hips all the way over the ball. Relax your upper body, relax your legs, even take your knees to a bent position, which actually makes your upper body a little more stable. And I want you to squeeze. Now, if you have your little weights, as we talked about in front of you, pick those up, but keep them close to your body. I'm gonna come up, my palms rotate toward the floor, elbows touch down on the ground. Come up. With your knees down on the floor, you're sitting back a little bit. Yeah. We're gonna do 2 exercises here. So stay down in that knee position. Now pull your upper body up. We go right and left, in and down. I lift, I punch over my head right and left. Without the weights, this is challenging. With 5 pounds, really challenging. You may not need that challenge. Go slow and reach. Yes, feel that work coming above your waistband, right where your rib cage is, up into your shoulders. 10 seconds, beautiful. Yeah, 3, 2, okay, leave your upper body down. Now, you can even drop your head on your hands. You're gonna take this left leg straight, right leg is straight out like this, down and up as high as you can go, only on that right leg. So your heel goes to the ceiling, left toe is keeping your balance, and your goal is to get that right glute higher than the left side. So I bend the knee, which is low. I go past my left leg's height, right up to the ceiling. So if you were standing, that would be hyperextension on that leg. You're standing, you're in flex position. Hyperextension is past the plane of the other hip. That is your goal. All right, both hips extend. So both toes can either be down on the ground or floating those feet, and we're just holding it. Upper body should be relaxed. Now, if you have your weights, have them in your hands and bring your arms in. So your upper body's relaxed and down. Both legs are floating up off of here. If you can extend those hips, you tap the toes down and lift them up. It's a V lift for your legs. It's a small, tiny movement, but boy, does that recruit those glutes. You've got gravity and just the position telling your glutes to do all that work. All righty, let's take that right leg down. Left leg is extended and you just lift here. Knee to the floor, up and extend. Oh, sometimes your brain just is so used to your, mobility or moving or walking where you don't have to think about side to side. When you isolate here and you just say, okay, left glute, you have to do it. It's mentally challenging. and physically just as hard. It's so silly. These are lazy muscles. They just don't typically do all the work. So you gotta force them by position and by the movement. All right, let's do everything. Superman, weights are an option here. If this is comfortable for you to be here with weights, great. Down on your side. If you want to really work the backside, take your arms straight out with or without the weight. Long limbs, equal resistance here. Oh, we still have that other side to do. We've got that whole left leg to do. And you're holding. Abs are in tight. Give me your best 10 seconds here. Yeah, arms can be an option. Do what you need to. Bring those hands behind you. Come up into downward dog. Stretch it back. Big, long stretch here. And then we'll repeat that whole thing. You're going to step forward left, step forward right. So you step. This time we stand at the top, go down, step back, push up. So step left, step right, stand up at the top when you're straddling, then back down into that lunge, then that little push up. Lots of time here. This actually starts feeling easy. Back, down and up, forward. Oh, it's all about how squatted your legs are. You are down low. If your hands do not leave the BOSU ball, it's amazing where that squat comes from. My hands touch, reach the legs. Stay right here into that squatted position over the ball, and we go up and down. So I'm touching down by the floor, straddling the BOSU ball, and then all the way up. If you stay looking forward, you're gonna find that posture stays back. You're working your upper back muscles. Yeah, you're down and up. Here am I. Down and up. Oh my God. Down and up. It's long since we've been to that leg. Forgot what we're gonna do here. All right. Okay, so this time we load. The right leg is right to the edge of that. Oh my, right, is it right here? God. Up and out. We're down and up. Right, is this where we should be?
Where are we doing?
Oh my gosh, with the other leg. So our right leg was stationary. Now the left leg is stationary. Working that side with the weight. I'm telling you, seriously, cannot recall. I think it was just this lunge business. Oh my God. It's like I'm in the twilight zone. It's just nothing's working today. Because remember, we did all that on this other side. We did do both legs, I think. Let's go up on top here with the weight and let's shake it out. Yeah, shake it out. You got your lighter weight. I think we did some standing BOSU stuff. Wow. Fantastic. Pushing through those arms. We'll stay on top. Yeah, the foot's going to be on top of the BOSU ball. Good. Pushing it out. 10 seconds in that shakeout. Then we're going to land on top. That left leg's going to stay on the top. Perfect. 4, 3. Okay, stay up on top with this. And arms are going to be here. So just working your posture. That right leg steps down and up to the balance. No, I don't believe this is what we've done, but we're doing it now. I'm adding the challenge to this. Good. We did all that in between on the back and your glutes. And I'm going to come back into the whole left side. Nice. Is it just balance?
No, it's hurting my balancing leg.
Yeah. I mean, that left side is just, I know, on fire. That's why I don't believe we did this on the other side. All right, then let's take it here to here, that little side squat. Again, arms are up by your side. If you've got the heavier weights, you can bring them together. You can bring them to your hips. Lighter weights here are an option. You want a little bit more work, push those arms up as we go. Shaking it out. Oh, I'm going to rewatch this and go, oh my God, we didn't do it on this other side. You can push through this, working everything in that hip. I believe we did do both sides. That's why I'm like, now we're back on this leg. My goodness. Shake it out, because we went our side to side business. I think we have to stand and move this right leg. Standing right here. Yeah, we went to both sides. That's the thing I'm screwing up on. All right, Let's take it to this. You're standing behind the BOSU ball. You're going to go down and fly and down and forward. So I'm working my back. I'm down to my ankles into the T, down to my ankles, and this time up into this like position, down, out. These are your lighter weights. So you get that back to work on the upper back, lower back when you reach out here. So really pull your abs in tight. We're going to start getting into the abs in these last few moments, but think through, this is all back. Flat back, squeeze the upper back, flat back, squeeze the lower back. Stay up tall on this one. We go right, left, out, in, left, right, out, in, right, left. So up, straight out, down, up, out, in, down, lift. So just isolation, nothing's moving at those legs. Lift, out, in, and down. Then you combine it all and you move them at the same time. So you start getting a sense of when you're moving those at the same time, it's not about the moving arm. It's about posture, because this can be all muscle. If I'm doing single arms, that's just muscle. You move them together and it's everything. Okay, take it to a kneeling position. So you're gonna kneel, toes are gonna stay down behind you. You still have those light weights. We're gonna start working the core from this position. So you'll see from the side, I'm back just a little bit beyond the center. I'm kind of over the top, but I'm back on my feet. Arms go all the way up, heads of the weights touch at the top. They come down, heads of the weights touch at the bottom, and I kind of bend forward. Sit up tall, perfect posture, and then down in front of my knees. So it's just slow, it's just controlled all the way up. Inhale, I just tilt from the upper body. Oh, perfect posture. And the goal is to avoid that side to side. So your toes should keep you straight on. But boy, you start seeing compensations here. And the key is to tap and look down at your weights, but I'm not bending at the hips. I'm just bending at the upper body. My head kind of comes forward. My posture changes there. Perfect posture right like this. And perfect posture, not perfect posture at the bottom. Good, up tall and down in the back. Now hold those arms like this, palms are facing me. Now you're gonna tilt, I'll just show you from the side, tilt forward a little bit, and we go here, together, out wide, together. So you're flying those arms back as we did standing, but because you're kneeling, this squatty position gets a lot more middle, where that transverse muscle runs around your core into your back. This is what we're doing. But think of how often in a day you kind of lean forward, maybe you're seated and you're reaching from something from your arms length away. This is where your posture is. You're kind of in this tilted forward. You've got to strengthen those muscles to be able to keep function there for you. Push those hands back. Okay, let's sit on top of here. Let's sit on the BOSU ball. I'm going to slide it back just a bit and sit actually on the floor in front of it. We have some time. I'm going to show you one more thing here. You're going to put your shoulders and head and neck on the ball, and you're going to push your hips up. So just a traditional bridge. You still have those light, easy weights. Let's do that little holding over your head position. So I'm just floating those weights over my head with an extended arm. This is stretching out the back of my arm, but I want you just to squeeze those glutes. Heels are down on the ground, arms are straight over your head. Your upper body from your hips to your shoulders pretty just parallel to the floor. Now walk your feet out a little bit. That angle comes right at that glute medius. So now I've got that kind of outer hip, feet are wide, and I'm pushing through here, arms are just over my head. You're gonna tap those hips down and drive through the heel up and squeeze. The wider you take your legs, the more that angle is going to work at that outer hip. This is where your IT band comes in and talks to that glute medius. They all meet up here. And if we have tightness, this is where you'll compensate. So maybe your knees are weak on the inside because this is super tight, or vice versa. Maybe you're, a runner and you're working this so much that this gets tight up here. Lots of reasons, but you got to be isolated and be able to find out which is stronger, which is more balanced. Walk your feet together, and we do that standing on one leg. Lift up that left leg, and now you're just standing in a right leg bridge. Oh, the upper body now starts to challenge itself with the balance. So if you want to bring your arms out into a T or down to the floor. Drive up through that right side. That left leg is just straight up to the ceiling.
Where are the arms?
Yeah, you can wherever you need them. If down by the side gives you balance, great. But if you can hold them over your head, you'll start to feel your upper body finding that balance. Switch your legs. Take that left leg down, right leg goes up, and you're just squeezing. The goal is to keep the bridge position wherever those arms need to be. Oh, that's just such isolation on that back side. If you're feeling shaky, great. The workout itself is not, cardio demanding. Fine tuning those little muscles. Squeeze and hold, drop both legs down, and then you drop the hips, squeeze it up. So this is a bridge lift. Finish it out and try to contract both sides of your glutes. Think right and left, up to the top, everything's super tight. Oh, and relax. Get your body now onto the BOSU ball. Our last little rounds of abs are going to be just that isolated movement. So I'm sitting in front of it. Hang on to the weights if you want, they'll actually help. And I'm just going to hold like this, getting the waistband on top of the ball. Knees are together, feet are together. I lift the feet up to counteract the arms. So if I extend to make everything long, the arms need to be long too, or everything's tight and in. Weights are totally an option here. You want more upper body work, you can give me arm work here, flies, circles. Take those feet down, arms together. And the last little one is just like this, up and twist, real functional in that kind of core torso area. Mostly posterior work today. So good for us. Good. Twist, twist. Last couple twists here. And 5, 4, 3, and sit up nice and tall, relax. Okay, no weights with this. Stretch it out. Oh my goodness. Over the top and let your back stretch here. That should feel like you really are lengthening around your shoulders. Your chest goes over those thighs. Heels are on the ground. Nice big inhale. Oh. And then let's give a little bit of a twist. Left hand behind you, right hand to that thigh, and then look over that left shoulder. It's good to isolate that, we say backside posterior area, but there's a lot of muscles back there. Twist the other way. Looking over that right shoulder. Oh, and then come wide. Straddle that BOSU ball, and then take that nice big stretch right here. And like I said, all you need is that space of your BOSU ball. A step on each side of it is about all we use today. Feet go back behind it, and then get into that forward fold. Toes to the edge, and then walk those hands forward. Keeping those legs straight as you can. And then bring your hands to your thighs, kind of mid-upper thighs, tuck that chin to the chest. Whew. Oh, sweaty. Fantastic. Good job. How did that feel?
That was a sweaty one.
Just